let's talk about the comics that we're reading. Now, usually on the show, I ask people to send in what comics they're reading, but because we're doing this on a Friday, which is a little earlier than I asked for it, I'm not going to be able to include anybody's for that. So definitely the next episode, I'll include that. But for today's episode, it's just going to be you and me talking about what comics we're currently reading. So is there, and I know I didn't give you a heads up ahead of time about this. Are you reading a comic currently?
Yeah, I've got a handful that I'm working on right now.
Yeah.
Of course, if anybody has listened to anything of me in the past, you know that I'm reading the monthly Iron Man book, The Invincible Iron Man. Jerry Duggan is writing that. It's great. I'm also reading the limited series that they're putting out for his 60th anniversary, the I Am Iron Man, which is also fantastic so far. I've been reading the Avengers Assemble crossover, which just had its second to last book. The Avengers Forever number 16 was this week, and it was excellent. I can't wait to see how they wrap that up next month in Avengers Assemble Omega number 1. Avengers War Across Time, and I just finally got around to reading the first issue of Rogue and Gambit, which was a lot of fun. I can't wait to see where they go with that. No DC right now because I'm so into what I'm reading right now with the Avengers and Iron Man.
Right.
But yeah, it's been good so far. And Rogue and Gambit, I'm really excited about that.
Rogue
About when the
Gambit's
story's
really
gonna go.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Yeah. And I think speaking of Jerry Dugan, Marvel did a X-Men 60th anniversary live stream event where they actually had some great people on. They had Chris Claremont on. Gosh, I can't remember who are some of the other people. I know Ryan Panagos is on there. Like, I absolutely love Ryan Panagos, who's one of the VPs there. But I can't remember if they had Jerry Duggan on there or if they just made this announcement about it. But I think he's going to be writing the new X-Men series that's coming out, if I remember correctly.
Might have to check it out.
I know. So especially because, like, they had all the, House of X, Powers of 10, the Trials of X. And so now they're going to do the Fall of X, which I think are going to like reset everything and bring it back, a little bit more self-contained now. And then not to get too far off track and all that, but did you hear about the news with the digital comics reader, the partnerships they've had?
Yeah.
So for people that haven't heard this yet, there's these two companies called Global Comics and one's called Omnibus App. They're digital reading apps basically for comics, and they have these huge partnerships now with like Image Comics. I don't think Dark Horse is one of them, but Boom Studios, Ahoy, Valiant, Mad Cape Studios, all the popular comic book publishers that's not Marvel and DC. They're going to be doing some exclusive partnerships to offer digital comics of those publishers' comics, which is going to be a huge game changer, I think, because Comixology is pretty much on its last leg at this point. So I think this is going to force Amazon to figure out, are we going to, try to save this sinking ship, or are we just going to let it go and just move on and then let everybody else, pretty much do a better job than they did? I mean, Comixology was good, and then they just killed it,
Yeah,
like,
Amazon sunk that ship.
Yeah. Like, I don't think they tried to, but at the same time, when you try to make something fit your infrastructure that's not clearly designed, like, I'm sorry, Kindles were not made for reading comics at all.
No, they were not.
So when you try and make it fit in that mold, like, it's just not going to work, So, yeah. So anyway, books I'm reading a handful of series. One I have to give a shout out to, I just finished reading, is a series called No One from Image Comics, written by Kyle Higgins. It's a fantastic issue. It's probably my favorite one of the year, and it's only one issue has been out. What we love about it is not only is it a fantastic story, and the colors, by the way, the colors by Mark Engler is just phenomenal. They're making a whole experience out of this. So not only is there a comic book that's associated with this, or a comic book that is centered. Let me try to phrase that again. I'm messing up here. So not only is there a comic book issue for No One, but they also have an accompanying podcast. And it's not a podcast where they're talking about how they made it. It's actually a podcast that lives in the world of this comic book series.
Oh, wow.
So it's really what it is an audio drama, but it's an audio drama of these two journalist characters that's in the story, making a podcast about the crimes that's going on. That's kind of giving you a lot more details about the what's going on in the story that they didn't cover in the comic book issue. Fascinating. The people who are in it is Rachel Lee Cook, who we all remember from the 90s as She's All That. I don't know what she's been in since then, but like, everybody loved her. and Patton Oswalt is also one of the other voices there as well too. So they have that podcast, and then when you go in the show notes, they actually have links that goes out. It makes it seem like this is a thing that's happening in the world, and so they have like these video clips of things that was mentioned in the podcast and the comic book. Like it's a phenomenal issue series. I'm absolutely loving it, and I think if you get a chance to pick it up and read it, I highly recommend it. It's already sold out. Like it just came
Yeah.
out Wednesday, and today is Friday, like 2 days after it came out. It's already sold out. They're already doing a second printing of it. That's how
Wow.
popular this thing is getting from the series. So definitely check it out. I think it's phenomenal. And then the other one I'm going to be starting soon is the X-Men Red series. I can't tell you anything about it. All I know is the people over at Comic Watch, I asked them when I was first getting back into the comic, into reading X-Men in the comics. I asked them, there's a lot out there of X-Men stories. I don't think I have the time or the money to read all of them. If there is a series that I should absolutely read currently, what should it
Mm-hmm.
be? And they all said, or the majority of them said, X-Men Red. They made some other suggestions, but it seems like everybody was on board that X-Men Red is definitely a fantastic series. So I got volumes 1 and volume 2 of that series. I'm going to start reading that, and I'm really looking forward to it. I know Cable's on that team, and I've been wanting to read more stuff about Cable. So I'm really excited about getting back into X-Men, but also learning a little bit more about this character that I've absolutely loved, but have not read a whole lot about in the comics. So
Mm-hmm.